Tomorrow.
Hey guys, so I'm in my work clothes right now, as you can tell. It's mid-shift. I borrowed a rental car because I can do that. Whatever, not gonna talk about that. Yeah, my engines came in. I got one, I got two right there. Now I will say I opened this box up to a little bit of a disappointment. Oil did come out of the engine during shipping. I don't know when, how. I don't know. I just cracked open the box and I pulled out my camera and started recording. So we're gonna discover this together. I got the lines for the oil cooler, which, I mean, they look like they're in fairly decent shape, I guess. Carburetor is over here in that corner. Intake manifold right here. Only thing that I really need out of here is going to be this cover right here, which if I'm remembering correct, I might have to actually trim this cover. So it's going to be the cover and the oil cooler itself. So I'm going to need the cover, the oil cooler, which I might have to figure out where exactly on the bike I'm going to mount this, because if I barely have any space. Oh man, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. Anyway, yeah, I don't get off of work until 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, so I can't even like come home and check this shit. I'll have to figure this shit out tomorrow after work or whatever the case is. Plus, like I mentioned in my last video, I am in the process of moving, so yeah, here's the hoping I can get some time to actually at least get the engine in. I'm not gonna have time to finish this harness because I actually need a day to just sit and focus and do this harness. So yeah, I get a day, I'm gonna come back and finish the harness, but in between, like after work, depending on the time of day that I get off of work, I might be able to get away with like an hour after work. But like, it's getting darker sooner. So with that being said, if I get off at 6 o'clock and I don't get home till like 6:30, I may only have like 20 minutes of light. So I mean, I'm working with what I got. But my engines are here. I'm super hyped about that. My engines are here. What the fuck is this? Starter? Solenoid. These are just the accessories that I don't need. Yeah, these are the accessories I don't need. A regulator, which I already have one, which actually, you know what, I'm gonna change to this regulator. I'm gonna change to that regulator versus the one that I have, because it might be putting out more amperage, amperage, I think it's amperage. Yeah, no, not much is getting used out of here though. I'm gonna just say this. Just say this. I just want to close the boxes before I say this. $1,200. That's what you're looking at right there. Shipped. $1,200. C. Took over a month, but it's finally here. Now, with that being said, for the same price that I spent for this, which actually less, I spent less on these two engines than I would have spent on the single Daytona Anima 194 valve that I wanted to get shipped. So the engine I was looking at would have been $800, which was like, call it $100 cheaper than these two put together. But the shipping is what brought that one up. And then the one seller that I had that could have got it to me in like 2 weeks sold out twice on me. So every time that I was ready to buy from that person, they didn't have any more Daytona E-starts. They only had the kick starts. So at the time of me purchasing, I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just buy two ZS190s versus the Daytona. So I want Chinese versus Japanese, which I really want to go Japanese, but not the point. I'm gonna get my Japanese motor. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna get my Japanese motor. But I'm hyped that these are in. That's one thing I don't have to stress out about anymore, because I've been genuinely stressing out about these engines the whole time. Like, damn, did I get scammed? What the fuck? Like, there was no updates or nothing. Like, the person communicated with me as long as I communicated with them. But outside of that, there was no communication. So I didn't know what the fuck was going on with my packages. They was just up in the air, basically. Not even up in the air. They was just out in the sea. So this bike, we'll be getting this engine maybe this weekend if I can find some time in between moving and work. If not, then I figure sometime next week. I don't fucking know. I'll figure that out. But with that being said, I'm about to go back to work. I just wanted to give y'all this little quick update. I might just splice into this video. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But yeah, ordering parts. As you can see, that's a plate right there. I'm waiting on another plate to come in because I got 2 bikes that need plates. Controls. More controls, wires, tank. I got. You know, I'm working on shit. There's parts in that box over there too, which I'll get to that. I'm gonna get to that box over there. But yeah, man, let me take my ass back to work. I ain't even on break. I just said I'll be back.
The next day.
And today is the day after D-Day, y'all. Look what I got out the box. So I'm just going to jump straight to it. Today is going to be the day that I am fitting the engine in the frame. And the only reason why I say I'm just fitting it in the frame is because I am waiting on more Deutsch connectors, because I have no more female pins so I can finish my harness. So with that being said, I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to get that engine placed into this frame. I got to get this one out. This engine, I currently have to take off the shift shaft brace, swap it onto that engine, and the cradle mount that I have on here, I got to unbolt it from the bottom of the engine, and I should be able to just pull the 2 bolts out and slide it out. But before I go installing that into the frame, because I'm running 3/8 bolts, what I'm about to do is I'm about to grab my drill and bore out the ZS, so that way I can keep the current setup that I have. Now with that being said, let me just go over what all came in the box. So what I have here is a 5-pin regulator rectifier, if I'm remembering correct. That would be the name for it, if not both. Well, one or the other, I forgot. This right here is actually the starter solenoid, which I'm not going to be running. I'm going to continue to run my Nibby starter solenoid over here. Here's an ignition coil, which I got to take the ignition coil back off of that one because it's the Nibby ignition coil, and I got to put my knockoff Nibby on that bike because I did get one for that one. Here's the CDI, which I won't be running because I'm already running the adjustable CDI. Right, I think that's all 4 of those things. Here's the carburetor, which it comes with a PE 28. Now, I didn't do any measurements yet. I literally just pulled everything out the box, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna start recording now before I go too deep. But engine side is 28 millimeters. Inner diameter, the outer diameter is 30 millimeters, so it fits in here. But here's the difference. It's on the air filter side. So just looking at the stack, let me actually go grab another stack. Where did I put that other stack? Give me 1 second, let me find it. And I gotta grab my caliper, which is right here conveniently, and I can actually tell you the difference between those two, because I don't feel like taking that velocity stack off of that carb. So 1 second. Okay, so I'm back and I got my caliper, which is zeroed out, and if I can just use one hand to do it, 54.5 versus bring that in some more. Actually, let me check the, so just the inner diameter of this to the outer diameter of that is a huge difference, right? So just imagine what the inner board difference is if I can get this I want to get it close to the lip as possible while actually making sure it's lined up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so inner is about 43.5. I don't feel like taking it off, just being honest with you. So with that being said, because there's actually music playing in the background and I don't want to get copywritten, I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Now, before I do that, just wanted to show you what I got in this box. Don't worry about the actual box itself. This is the box that my tail light came in, but I got some parts in here. So what I got here is I got 2 oil filters because I got 2 engines, right? Clutch discs. Yeah. I got the kickstart little thing, the eliminator, that's what it's called. I got 2 of those actually. So I do actually plan on trying to run a Kickstarter on this one, or at least keeping a kickstart with me on my body type situation, so that way if I need to kickstart it I can. But got the billet clutch lifter plate, I got the springs, I got my Chimera clocking plate, and I got the starter chain. So this should be the upgraded starter chain. Now with that being said, I'm gonna have some fun and I'm just gonna see what I can do in, I think I got like 3 hours worth of sun. So with that being said, I'm gonna just give y'all an update at some point during this whole process, just to see where I'm at. Maybe I'll show y'all when I pull the engine, then show y'all as I crack this engine open. I'm about to dump the oil in it so I can get started on installing the clutches. I should actually soak those clutches. I gotta see if I got something to put it in, but yeah, I'm gonna just jump straight to it. All right, I'm tripping because I don't know how I forgot this stuff right here. It comes with a shifter, which I'm not gonna use because I have rear sets on with the whole shifter linkage and everything. It comes with the intake manifold, 28mm I believe. I'm actually gonna measure this one. The Kickstarter itself, oil cooler lines, just a generic oil cooler, right? And then the cover. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to cut this or not, but if I gotta cut it, I gotta cut it. It is what it is. With that being said, I'm just gonna, like I said, jump straight into it, and I'm just gonna update y'all at some point in the build on what I'm doing. This is gonna be fun. I only got like 3 hours worth of sun, so let me see what I can get done.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Alright, so if you're like me and you want to change out the starter chain, I'm going to tell you the simplest, easiest way to do it, right? Without having to take off your whole flywheel and everything. You got to get off your starter sprocket, right? So for starters, no pun intended there, you got to remember the orientation in which it comes off. So it fell out like this because I had the engine facing down this way. So that's how it fell out, right? You take off your C-clip, whatever the fuck they're called again. You got to spread it out, get it over the splines, pull that out, cool. There's 2 bolts holding the starter on to the case, which are these 2 right here, cool. Get you a little flat head and just pry between the case and the starter because it does have an O-ring on it. Cool, once it's out, it separates. Then, only thing you got to do is pull the chain up so that way you get the slack. Once you start getting slack, you can get it directly over. Now, I say that to say all this. I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but I see it in person. The difference between the chain on the right and the chain on the left. The chain on the left is the stock chain that I just pulled off. The chain on the right is the one that I'm putting on, which it's not really showing on camera, but the one on the right is a bit thicker than the one on the left. Now, not only do you want to upgrade your chain, but you got to grease the chain. So I got to get me some grease up that chain, and then I'll be good to go there. But this is where I'm at so far. Got this side off, about to put the chain on. I was testing out oil cooler fitment. Now the only thing with the oil cooler is, as far as with my trellis goes, I'm just gonna have to figure out where I'm gonna have to cut on here, but I'm gonna have to cut the plastic, which isn't a problem. Now, if I want, I do have a whole nother set of trellis, the original trellis that came for this bike. They're red, and the bottom of this is just completely cut off. If I want to go for that look, I can. I might just take a look and see with that one, like where everything fits, so then that way I can figure out where exactly I'm gonna have to cut on here, because I don't want to cut too much. I want to keep as much of this as possible. Now, with that being said, I'm about to just jump straight back into putting this starter on, and then I'm going to drain and jump to the clutch side. Now, I did notice that this one only has neutral, so I'm gonna have to buy a shift star, I think. No, it's not even a shift star. I gotta figure out what these are called, but I gotta buy one that picks up for 6, unless this one has 6 on it on the inside. I don't know. The sensor that I have originally only has 5 on this engine, so if I wanted to use it, it's only neutral 1 to 4. So I got to figure out finding one that has 5 gears on it versus just the neutral, so then that way I can, know what gear I'm in, especially since I got this and it looks dope as hell. Anyway though, I'm gonna just jump straight back into it because there's music playing in the background and I don't want to get copyright strikes, whatever the hell it's called. I don't want to get no copyright. All right, so because I forgot that I actually need the gun for that to do my clutch plates, I'm not gonna do the clutch plates today. I'm not gonna do them today. What I did do was I did install the stiffer clutch springs and the Chimera billet clutch plate thing. So yeah, that's on. There's still oil in the engine. I just turned it sideways, but I'm gonna end up draining that oil, and I'm going to do an oil change because I have, what is it? K&N. Yeah, K&N 1040. So I'm gonna be running that, not whatever's in there. So I gotta still drain out the oil, but yeah, couldn't do the clutch plates. I also have to actually soak them. So yeah, I gotta get a container or something, pour the oil that I'm gonna put in the engine in the container. So then that way I'm not just wasting oil, but it ain't a waste of oil because it's going in the engine. But gotta get me a container so I can put it in there and let those soak. But for now, I think I'm good with that until I soak those. I'm about to drain this. It comes with an NGK, which is kind of dope. I'm gonna run that exhaust. For now, I gotta buy an exhaust for it, but I really do want to go with a custom setup. So I'm contemplating on getting a Bullock exhaust, another exhaust like that one, or there's a straight pipe version of that. So I'm really thinking about getting a straight pipe version of it so I can have both straight pipe and muffled. And then, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out, but no, I do want to do a full custom exhaust on the bike. So it's kind of why I'm trying to get it mocked up so I can figure out how I want to go about doing that with my setup. So I'm getting kind of loud in my background. I'm gonna just get back to work and update y'all with the next move that I've done. Like I said, where I'm at now is just did the clutch springs. So I've already changed the starter chain. I upgraded that, upgraded the clutch springs and the damn plate thing. Next, I think I'm about to just drop that engine. I could take that off of that engine, the fucking intake manifold. Yeah, drop the engine. Make sure the bolts actually fit because I did already drill the holes out, but I just want to make sure that they're gonna fit. And yeah, because I don't have the fucking the gun, you know what I'm talking about. I can't take off the clutch basket so I could do the shifter star mod. Yeah, I heard about that, so I want to eliminate that like kind of immediately. So with that being said, yeah, let me just move on to the next thing that I'm about to do. Probably take that out. And now I'm at the point where I can get my engine out. So, got the sprocket off, right? Move that back so I can pull out the engine mount bolt. Now here's the thing, you see that cradle that's right there? So as I'm pulling these bolts out, the engine won't drop, but I have to pull it forward and out, right? So a part of me wants to record this, and then a part of me doesn't, because I don't feel like putting y'all through the stress of me doing this. But you know what, I'm not even gonna record it. I'm gonna just pop it out, and when the engine's out, I'll show y'all what I'm talking about.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
And funny enough, it only took me like 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to get it out. So this is the washer that's stock on my frame, which actually broke and chipped the frame. This was, I don't even know how many months ago, like almost a year at this point, because I've had this bike for almost a year. But anyway, the washer, I have to make sure that I put it in the right orientation. Now, I don't know yet if with that engine, I'm gonna have to get a different spacer for this side or not, because I've seen some people run a spacer on this side versus that side. But like I said, stock, my frame came with it over there. So this is what I meant by I have a cradle mount in here. So basically, engine mount goes through there to the opposite end, and it holds it in on that side. And then there's also a bolt, which is right there, going to this spacer that I have going through the frame, which the stock spacer that comes with the kit is short. So I added another one in here, which obviously I need to add some washers in between there, so then that way it's not rattling, because I think this might be what I'm hearing as I'm riding, honestly. Yeah, cradle mount, get y'all one of those. Only thing you got to do is for that side, it bolts straight up. This side, you have to actually like cut or grind some of it off, so then that way you can get it flush. But you know, it's not much work. It's probably like 5 to 10 minutes worth of work if you have the tools already, but it's definitely worth it. Took away some vibrations. That's if you don't have any welding skills or any welding friends. So this was the option that I went with. Now that engine's out. I took the shift shaft brace off, which is right here. That's about to go on this engine. Hopefully it bolts right up. I'm hoping. It looks like it will. Yeah, it looks like it will. Yeah, and this engine should be going right in. Actually, while I got y'all on camera so I can check for myself, this is the 3/8 bolt. Okay, I gotta do a little bit more drilling. Alright, so let me grab the drill. Alright, okay. Little love tap should go in, but I don't want to have to love tap. I want to just slide in. So I still got some cleaning to do. You don't want the threads to get caught on nothing. Okay. Try this again. There we go. See? It's a little snug in a certain spot. Oh, I might have to keep going through a little bit. But yeah, that's all you want to do. You just want to make sure that it goes smooth through, not catching. But yeah, y'all gonna see me put this in, I don't know, maybe about 5-10 minutes. Then I can actually fully bleed the clutch. Yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. So it's the moment where I'm installing the shifter shaft brace, right? Now, if you'll notice, that hole almost lines up, that one doesn't. Now, on the stock cover, this little tang has to get broken off. So then that way, if you want to run a shifter brace, you can. This is for those of y'all who want to run a shifter brace on your ZS190. Just letting you know, if you want to do it, break it off, grind it off, however you want to get it off, it has to come off so then that way you can run this specific one, right? Now, if I'm remembering correct, I paid like 14 bucks for it if I'm remembering right. Now, I'm about to just get down to cutting that off, breaking it off, grinding it off. However I'm about to get it off, I'm about to get that off. But yeah, y'all about to see this on here. And just like that, what you do is you get you a pair of vice grips, right? You just grab the air, snap it off. So now, the holes should line up. Perfect. So, show y'all this live. Even though I got the camera in my hand, I should still be able to do this, right? Now, grab the spacer, put the spacer in there, line the bolt up. Cool, that's one. Mind you, I'm trying to record and do this, so just bear with me with the angle. But I'm trying to get it all live for you, so. And boom, just like that, right? So, it looks like for this one, I'm gonna need longer spacers versus on this one, which isn't an issue. I think I got some spacers around here. I think I do. I gotta check and see what spacers I got, but if I do, I should be good to run them. Let me find something. So if you're trying to run a shifter shaft brace on your ZS190, you're gonna have to get a longer bolt than the one that comes with the brace itself. And the only reason why is because you need more threads to actually reach in the engine block itself. You want to actually have it like, let me just show you what the stock bolt. I dropped one. So if the stock bolt goes all the way there, right, as I drop that one, I'm trying to show y'all one-handed, just bear with me, y'all. Is it gonna stay? No, it ain't gonna stay. Now, with that being said, it's not gonna stay, but you see where it ends at. So, basically, I need to get a bolt that ends. How you doing? Yeah, you see where this one ends. So, there's not enough thread engagement in the block itself at the end of the day. So, if I can get this lined up without dropping it, I dropped it. There we go. So, I should get my caliper and measure that. So then that way I know how much longer of a bolt I need to get. So then that way I can have enough thread engagement on both. Because, where's that other bolt at? I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, it's in the same spot. So, yep, with that being said, I'm just gonna put the regular bolts back in for now until I go and get me some longer bolts so I can run this, because I definitely do want to run it. Definitely do. But only thing you got to do is just get a vice grip, knock that off real quick. It's gonna come right off. Before it gets dark and I get rained on and I start losing stuff, which has already started happening, but I'll find it when the sun's out. Engine's in. I got the kickstart. I'm just trying to figure out the angle that I want the kickstart to be at. I'm gonna have to figure that out with the trellis as well. Like I said, I have the red trellis with the plastic that's cut off, which I could just swap the plastics between the black, because I'm keeping the black on. Yeah, I can do that. Got the carb on. I need to see where this sits now with the actual intake that's actually on the engine. As of now, the fucking oil cooler, because I got the fucking steering turned, it was at an angle. So yeah, I gotta figure out the trellis, because the trellis is gonna block this from getting hit. I bent the tab back almost as far as I can. I'm using a single tab, if anything. I do got the dual tabs right here if I want to figure out how to make a bracket to come up on the frame. But engine is in. I'm about to put the 17 tooth on, and then I'm going to go inside. I gotta start cleaning up so I can go inside. Yeah, I'm about to do that. I tried to use the stock engine cover and it doesn't fit. This is just me just trying to see if the other engine cover does. Just because I'm curious. Does it fit? Does it fit? Does it fit? I'm trying to make sure I ain't got no wire in the way too. No, it doesn't. Okay, it's close. It's very close. My bad for the bad angle. I'm just trying to see with my eyes. Alright, that didn't work, but yeah, let me put that on before I lose those bolts. Alright, that's where that went. Anyway, yeah, let me get this on. Let me get this stuff. I'm tired. Let me clean up. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this video though. So where I'm at is, you know, getting that figured out with the oil cooler. I gotta actually figure out the clocking of the intake manifold. Gotta figure out the orientation of the kickstart. Still have to finish bleeding the clutch, because I'm gonna pull it once, let off, pull it once, let off. That's actually 2 times. Pull it a 3rd time, let off, pull it a 4th time, let off. Now it's getting tight, right? 5th time, let it off. 6th time, let off. And you see how now it's at the end of its travel. So I'm off the clutch. Now if I were to be riding, the clutch would still be engaged. Actually no, it would still be disengaged. Right now it's engaged. If I were to ride it with it right now, it would still be disengaged because it would be somewhere up here. But yeah, I'm gonna figure that out, because I got the pressure switch right here versus having the bleeder nipple on the banjo bolt. So I'm gonna try to bleed it up here at the actual master cylinder itself. I don't know, gotta figure that out. But now I got the engine in and I have it hard mounted, so it should be easier for me to figure that out. Also gonna have to figure out the hose routing, which, yeah, I don't know. I gotta figure that out. But yeah, it's getting dark. Let me go in before I start losing shit. See y'all in the next one.